Fanhood. Sam Martinez knew baseball. He couldn't count the number of Los Angeles Dodgers games he had been to. His uncle Gabriel had season tickets and had been taking Sam to games ever since he was 3 years old. When spring break turned into baseball season, he got so excited that his parents practically had to bolt him to his desk after school so that he would do his homework before the night games. His little sisters knew that if they bothered him when he was either watching or listening to the game, they would get yelled at. Even Sam's friends tended to steer clear and tread softly when baseball season began. Sam couldn't help it. He was obsessed. The smell of freshly cut grass, the feel of the hard and perfectly aerodynamic ball, the ping of the bat as it made contact, the crunch of peanut shells as you made your way down the aisles to the seats, the groans and shouts of the crowd. What could be better than all of this? Sam had turned his bedroom into a Dodgers shrine, complete with pennants, framed newspaper articles, glass and case fly balls, and a few autographed headshots. He didn't like other people to come into his room, though. Sometimes he was worried it was a bit too much. He had once made the mistake of bringing a friend to a Dodgers game when Uncle Gabriel couldn't go, and it had been a disaster. Jordan had wanted to talk the entire time and barely paid attention to the game. He had then gotten annoyed at Sam for not wanting to talk. It was awful. Sam had felt too embarrassed to take notes and jot down the stats for the game, which had really messed up the seasonal scorecard he and Uncle Gabriel usually kept. The first game of this year's season found the Dodgers pitted against the Chicago Cubs, those eternal underdogs. Sam and Uncle Gabriel handed their tickets to the collector and made their way to the section they had sat in for the last 10 years. Think Puig will be awesome as he was last year, Uncle G? Sam asked, pulling his blue baseball hat down over his eyes to guard against the sun. Uncle Gabriel, his pinstripe Dodgers jersey stretched across his heavy-set belly, stepped gingerly aside as a family of 6 rushed past holding containers of popcorn and cotton candy. Puig is the gift that keeps on giving, he said, looking back at Sam. Don't worry, he'll make us proud. They finally reached their section and headed to their seats. Uncle Gabriel took small steps down the row, shouting out greetings as they passed by old friends and fellow season ticket holders. These guys had been sitting in the same row and section for years together and shared Sam and Uncle Gabriel's passion for the game. Sam plopped down and took a sip from his Coke, taking in the scene of the half-full stadium in front of him, the brown mountains beyond, and the beautiful bright lights that made Dodger Stadium visible from airplanes. Uncle Gabriel leaned forward to talk to Mr. and Mrs. Salvatore, and Sam closed his eyes and smiled. He felt like he was home. Pardon me, excuse me, sorry, just need to get in here. Sam looked up. Jessica Adler from Sam's 8th grade math class was leading her dad down the row of seats, looking glum. She sat right next to Sam and made a production of setting her purse down on her feet so that it didn't touch the ground. Hi, Jessica, Sam said. She looked up in fake surprise. Oh, hi, Sam. How are you? Pretty good. I didn't know you liked baseball, he said. She twitched her head toward her dad, who was looking around at the stadium with the same rapturous expression that had been on Sam's face just a few moments before. He loves it. He just bought season tickets. My brother couldn't go tonight, so my mom decided we needed some father-daughter time. She rolled her eyes. I don't even understand how baseball works. Sam smiled. Want me to teach you? Jessica smiled back and nodded. It was the first time Sam barely paid attention to a baseball game without being overly upset. He liked talking to Jessica. Despite her initial negativity, she actually seemed to get into the game and had even heckled a player or two by the top of the 7th. She didn't laugh at Uncle Gabriel, who was watching with extreme concentration, small pencil pressed to a pad of notebook paper filled with the numbers and notes about the individual players. During the 7th inning stretch, she sang the baseball fans' Pledge of Allegiance with gusto and let her dad hug her when the Dodgers won. Sam couldn't help wondering if maybe at some game in the future he himself would hug her if the Dodgers won. Maybe I'll come to the next game with my dad, Jessica said, as she, Sam, her dad, and Uncle Gabriel made their way down the stairs, following the slow-moving crowds to the parking lots. That'd be cool, Sam said. See you in school. He waved briefly and followed Uncle Gabriel to their car in the first lot. Sam was quiet as they got into the car and waited in a long line of traffic to exit the stadium. Good game, huh? Uncle Gabriel asked, looking at him out of the corner of his eye. Sam felt conflicted. He had really liked watching the game with Jessica, but he had barely paid attention to the action himself. He didn't regret talking with Jessica, but he definitely regretted missing the game. "Yeah, I guess so," he said. Uncle Gabriel laughed. "Will that young lady be at many games this season?" "Probably," Sam said, feeling sick. "How many games would he miss?" "Don't worry about it, Sammy," Uncle Gabriel said. "Baseball games should be fun in all sorts of different ways. Don't be too hard on yourself." He chuckled and patted Sam's shoulder. "You can always stay home and watch on TV." Sam punched his shoulder and grinned. Read the story. Underline the key words in the questions. Underline information in the story to prove your answers. Number 1. What is the first paragraph mostly about? A. The history of the Los Angeles Dodgers. B. How much Sam loves baseball. C. How Sam dreads baseball season. D. How Sam would rather do homework than watch baseball. 2. Which of the following are supporting details for the first paragraph? A. His Uncle Gabriel had season tickets and had been taking Sam to games ever since he was 3 years old. B. When spring turned into baseball season, he got so excited that his parents practically had to bolt him to his desk after school so that he would do his homework before the night games. C. Sam Martinez knew baseball. He couldn't count the number of Los Angeles Dodger games he had been to. D. All of the above. 3. Choose the sentences from the story that would be most important to include in a summary of the story. A. Baseball games should be fun in all sorts of different ways. B. Sam punched his shoulder and grinned. C. She rolled her eyes. D. Excuse me, sorry, just need to get in here. E. Sam couldn't help wondering if maybe at some game in the future he himself would hug her if the Dodgers won. 4. What is the story mostly about? A. A man has been taking his nephew to Los Angeles Dodgers games for years. B. A girl goes to a baseball game without understanding how baseball works. C. A boy is torn between his interest in baseball and his interest in a girl. D. A boy gets annoyed at a friend for wanting to talk during a baseball game. 5. Based on the main idea of the story, the reader can conclude: A. Sam is developing a crush on Jessica. B. Sam is getting sick of being around Jessica. C. Sam is starting to feel uncomfortable around Jessica. D. Sam is becoming suspicious of Jessica. 6. How does Jessica's attitude toward baseball change in the story? A. Jessica is interested in baseball at first but loses her interest later on. B. Jessica is not interested in baseball at first but then becomes interested. C. Jessica slightly dislikes baseball at the beginning of the story and hates baseball at the end. D. Jessica likes baseball at the beginning of the story and absolutely loves it at the end. 7. According to the story, what is Sam's conflict? A. He couldn't see the field well enough from his seat. B. He didn't want to spend time with his Uncle Gabriel. C. He did not feel like going to the baseball game. D. He liked watching the game with Jessica but barely paid attention to the action of the game. 8. Complete the table with correct information from the story.